So we're back with more Premier League talk. It seems like it's been ages since we actually talked about the Premier League. The international break ended and we had the FA Cup over the weekend, but now it's back to the Premier League where Victor is going to be happy. He's going to watch Liverpool probably, maybe win the league. But yeah, before we go into all of that, let's go to the predictions and what we expect to happen in the upcoming round. So, Victor, I know you are happy to get going again with your predictions. So, what straight win picks do you have in mind for this one?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one, especially since recently our predictions have been quite solid, I think, and I have been looking forward to this. So for straight wins, I'm looking at Bournemouth. They should be able to beat Ipswich, perhaps even on a handicap. But for safety's sake, I'm going with an outright here. This one's priced around 1.35, something like that. So it should be good value on a medium accumulator. Another one is Southampton. They're hosting Palace, and I I think this one's only gonna go one way. The odds are 1.66 for Palace outright win. And given
Mm.
their recent form, I think it's actually overpriced. Um, they're on a run of 7 away wins in a row. And this is extraordinary for a team that's considered lower mid-table. If you think about it, it's nothing short of amazing. At the
Yeah.
same time, Southampton are absolutely dreadful at home. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games at St. Mary's. The only exception was against lower league opposition and in the FA Cup against Swansea. So yeah, Palace to win. And I've got a third outright. This one's a bit more out of left field, I think. I think it's Villa to beat Brighton away. So they're actually underdogs in this one. Odds are around 320, which is just huge. I think Villa are in a great place right now with how they're performing in the Prem, in the FA Cup, in the Champions League. Mentally, they must be buzzing, and I think it will show against Brighton.
Fair enough. Ironically, I can say we had majorly 80% of the same straight win picks because I was actually going for Villa too, but I think
Hmm,
actually I'm gonna say Arsenal beat Fulham.
okay.
Arsenal beat Fulham at home because Fulham have been struggling to score lately. They seem toothless, and that was how Marco Silva described his side after their recent loss. And I think Arsenal are kind of formidable at home, so I think they should be able to get the win. City beating Leicester is very obvious, but I would say they do it on a handicap, even an handicap of two. Even an handicap of two will still be priced well for City to beat Leicester City. Leicester City are just almost as terrible as Southampton at this point, and I can only see that game going one way, if you ask me. And I also think Bournemouth, just like you said, Bournemouth beat Ipswich as well. Bournemouth, they have too much attacking power for Ipswich, and they are playing at home as well. So I think it's going to be also one-sided. And of course, my last game is Villa Brighton. I think Villa have enough momentum at the moment. FA Cup semi-final, Champions League quarter-final. There's a feel-good factor in the dressing room at the moment. I think they will be able to beat Brighton, even though they are seen as the underdog. But I think they will be able to win as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, we pretty much almost aligned for our straight win picks. But yeah, moving on to the goals and over 2.5 and under 2.5 tips. What do you have?
Um, I've got two overs. I think over 2.5 for Bournemouth v Ipswich. Odds are around 1.5, 1.55. I think we all know how good I'm sorry, how good Bournemouth can be in attack. And
Yeah.
I think Ipswich's front line is still quite underrated. Um, and an extra reason is I think there's some selfish incentive there. For the likes of Delap and Hutchinson, they will want to put themselves in the shop window just to stay in the Premier League because Ipswich are going down, obviously, but
Yeah.
just for them to get a transfer to a Prem side. Another over 2.5 that has my attention is Newcastle v Brentford. This one's even lower. It's around 1.45. And if you look at it, both teams are top heavy. They're attacking oriented, and I really doubt 3 goals will be much of a problem in this one.
Mm.
If we look at the stats, it also happened in 4 of the last 5 head-to-heads as well. And the
Mm.
last goal-related one I have, it's not exactly an over/under, it's a BTTS. And I think it's Wolves v West Ham. It stands at 190, which is really solid. Both teams have been scoring just about enough lately. Wolves have 12 in the last 10. West Ham have 10 in the last 10 games, and both have trouble keeping clean sheets. Wolves have only kept 3 clean sheets in their last 10 outings, and West Ham only 2.
Yeah. Fair enough. For me, think I'm also going with Bournemouth Ipswich for the over 2.5 picks. Then also Brighton Aston Villa. And surprisingly, even though Nottingham Forest might be without Chris Wood, I still think the game against United is going to give us a decent number of goals because both of them are sort of unpredictable sides, Nottingham Forest and United. So I think that will give us at least 3 goals. And for Liverpool Everton, I think both teams will score. Liverpool probably win easy, but I think Everton will at least get on the score sheet. So I think both teams will score in that one for me. Yeah, and this time around, I don't think it might be so easy. But Victor, which player to score tips do you have in mind? This week seems so tricky.
Yeah, it is, and it hasn't been particularly easy to pick out 3 names, but yeah, here goes. So I'm backing Strand Larsen again. I'm
Mhm.
backing Strand Larsen for Wolves. It went well last time. He got a brace against Southampton. And if you think about it, Cunha is still suspended. So Strand Larsen will still be the natural focal point of their attack. Um, I don't think it's going to be too hard because West Ham are not that solid defensively, as we mentioned. But what's really attractive about this is the odds for Strand Larsen to score. It's 3.75. I feel like it's way overpriced and it's worth a punt.
Yeah,
The second one, I'm going with Salah. Will probably score because against Everton because it's Salah and it's Everton. And again, I feel like it's overpriced because it's at 220. I was expecting under 2 for this. I saw 220. It's a gimme. And the last one, you might like the sound of this one. I'm going with Leandro Trossard to score or assist
mm.
against Fulham.
Mm.
Whenever Arsenal play against a mid-table team, I always have him penciled in for a goal, but in 99% of cases, I end up not trusting him to score. Um,
Mm.
but I think this time it's a landing. I'm pulling the trigger on it for goal or assist, especially because it feels like he owes us a big performance at home at the Emirates.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, I'm actually going with the pretty obvious names. First of all, I'm going with Salah. I think I should be leaving Salah out of my list actually because it's pretty much a constant at this point. But I'm also going with Eze of Crystal Palace against Southampton. I think he's enjoying himself lately, for Palace, and Southampton are just terrible in defense. So I
And they're
think
conceding a lot of free kicks as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think AJ is going to get on the score sheet. I also think Cunha of Wolves is also going to get on the score sheet.
Sorry to interrupt, he's still suspended.
Oh. I'll cut this part out. Yeah, I'll cut this part out. Yeah. Then I think Isak is going to get a goal against Brentford. Then this might not be popular, but I think Fernandez gets a goal for United against Nottingham, mainly because I think they'll get the penalty and he's probably going
Okay.
to score. So I think Haaland, Salah, Fernandez, and Isak and Eze, sorry. So yeah, all those names I think they are going to get on the score sheet. But yeah, moving
Right.
on, Victor, do you have any same game tips?
Yeah, I've got a builder for City versus Leicester. I'm going with 3 lines on it, pretty much as usual. I've got City to lead at halftime. It's at 1.53.
Mm,
Savinio over 2.5 shots, not necessarily on target for 160.
mm,
And both teams to get at least one card, 153. Again, overall, it's a builder for around 375. I think it looks really doable. If you look at stats, City, they had a streak of 4 EPL games where they didn't get a single card, but that's been broken since. They had 2 yellow cards in each of the last 2 Prem games. Leicester, they actually stand in 5th place for most cards this season, most yellows. They've got 64 and 29, so that translates to about 2.2 cards per game. But amazingly, they're the only Premier League team to not see a red card this season.
yeah.
And about Savinio, he had 31 shots in total over the last 10 Premier League appearances. So I think over 2.5 is doable here.
Mm, fair enough. Then, just on a final note, any bold opportunity you have in mind, to take advantage of?
Yeah. Again, you might like the sound of this one. So I've already mentioned a couple of tips with pretty high odds, like Villa beating Brighton and Salah to score being overpriced. But I do have one more, and it's an outright draw between Liverpool and Everton. Um,
Mm,
the odds, it's massive. It's 5. So that should be a low wager single line slip naturally. But I'm going for it because it feels like the Liverpool are there for the taking, and as like we all know how much a positive result in a Merseyside derby means to Everton, and they played a 2-2 draw at Goodison earlier in the season, and I think Liverpool might be taking their foot off the gas for this one. Um, Frankly, I see this one going one of 2 ways. It's either going to be a drubbing, a win for Liverpool by 3 or 4 goals, or it's a draw. I'm backing the draw.
fair enough. For me, I don't really see much, but I think Aston Villa win by at least 2 goals. I mean,
Wow.
considering that they're already overpriced to start with, and then if you add the fact that they will win by 2 goals, then you're looking at some serious odds there. I
Yeah,
see
that's
that
about a
happening.
6.5.
Yeah, then I think Palace actually score a goal in both halves. Palace actually score a goal in both halves. And I think that could easily happen. And I want to go bold here and say Everton can score twice. But nah, I already said they'll get a goal, and I'm still sticking with that anyways. But yeah, Bournemouth will score at least 3 goals against Ipswich. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my final pick anyway. So yeah, Bournemouth
fair.
to score at least a goal against Ipswich.
Yeah, good
So
shout.
Yeah, so the Premier League is already eating up. When we get to, round 30, it's already a reminder that, the season is already coming to an end. Just, 8 games left, and we can already tell what is going on. But the top five race is going to be very interesting. Aside Liverpool, who are like, guaranteed to finish first, the top five can actually change between now and the end of the season. And of course, it'll be interesting to see how all of that will unfold. But we'll be giving our predictions as usual, what we think will happen. Our record is pretty solid at the moment, and we'll be hoping to keep that and do even better between now and the end of the season.